You know what's the worst thing that can happen after you file your marriage adjustment of status application? It's if you receive that entire application back because you submitted outdated forms. So let me show you how to prevent that from happening in this video. Hey there and welcome to our channel. My name is Margarita and it's just a reminder that my husband and I make videos for people like ourselves who are going through the marriage adjustment of status. And really the purpose of this channel is to give you guys all the confidence you need to handle this process completely on your own. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're always up to date. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. It's 2023 and guess what? The United States Immigration Services are still mostly accepting paper filings. Wait, what? No, literally, you cannot submit your marriage adjustment of status application online. Very common question we get, but no online filing for the adjustment of status. And actually, as a part of this process, you are submitting 7 to 8 different forms, but only one of them can be submitted online beforehand, but those other 7 forms still can only be submitted on paper. For instance, check out some of our member submissions. So yes, it's a lot of paper. But going back to our original point, if you are submitting your forms on paper, which you inevitably will, you do need to make sure that you're submitting the latest editions of all the forms, otherwise your application will get rejected, and trust me, that's just not something that you want to deal with. So, 2 things I wanted to bring to your attention here. First, the USCIS recently updated Form I-485. The new edition expires on February 28, 2026, and the edition date is February 21, 2023. I personally haven't noticed any changes to this form. The public chart section is still there, which you can check the video we made addressing these questions, but everything else looks pretty much the same, but definitely drop the comment if you notice something new. Second thing I want to share with you guys is how to actually make sure you are submitting the latest edition of each and every form, and you will always do it through the USCIS website, so let's dive in. But just a quick note before I do. If you already feel like this process is quite a bit to handle, but you would still prefer to handle it yourself, I encourage you to apply to our marriage immigration method, where we guide couples like you guys through the entire immigration journey, all the way through naturalization. That way, all of your questions will be answered in one place, and there is no more wandering on the internet trying to piece together all the resources. You can find anything you need in just one place, and all the links are below. All right, so here we go. Whatever form you're working on, you will always find the main USCIS page for that form. For instance, let's actually start with Form I-485. Okay, so here's the main USCIS page for Form I-485. First of all, as you can see, they do post a lot of alerts, and actually a lot of these alerts are very, very important, so always double check with their website. Like right here, they're saying, hey, submit your Form I-693 or medical exam at the same time you file Form I-485 if you want to be adjudicated faster. That is really great information to know. But let's look at the edition date. So here's what I always do. I always open the form so that it's in front of me, and I always look at the edition date. So here's what you need to know. So you know that the expiration date is right here. It literally says it expires on this and that date, but the edition date is always on the bottom of the form, which is right here. So let's look at the edition date tab. So every single page will always have this edition date tab. You will always click it, and here's what they're saying. So the latest edition is this one, the 2/21/2023, and that's exactly what we have opened. But here's what they're also saying. And again, you always need to check that because this information changes all the time. So here's what they're saying. We will also accept the 12/23/2022 edition, which is strange because we just had somebody inside of our program who did get an RFE, even though they were not supposed to for this exact same situation. That is why it is very important that you always submit the latest edition if possible. Again, always double check before you submit your application to avoid any potential delays. Okay, so this does make sense. Again, you just always open the form and you always double check the edition date. Let's look at the affidavit of support so that we know exactly what's going on here. Okay, so we open the form. And let's look at the edition date. So the edition is 12/08/2021. And again, you see the form expires on 12/31/2023, but the edition is 12/08/2021. And that's really all you need to know as far as this goes. But please make sure to always double check yourself before you submit your forms. Okay, one final comment about this, and it is very important. They literally update their forms out of the blue, normally way before the expiration of the previous one, and sometimes way after the expiration of the previous one. For instance, we have to submit outdated forms to them as well. Either way, very often a couple would be sitting on the paperwork for a while, you know, like a couple of months, and during that time the form gets updated, they don't check prior to submission, and their file gets rejected. So please make sure to always double check every single form prior to submission, and that's also a good opportunity to check if you signed and dated it. It's just another place where we see a ton of RFEs. I really hope you found this video helpful. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and you're also more than welcome to drop them in the comments. Otherwise, good luck with your application process, and be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We will see you in the next video.